The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to the webinar by WebEngage. Hello, this is Divya Sharma Dikshit, the Digital Marketing Strategist at WebEngage. Today, we are here to talk about data-driven multi-channel marketing automation for online travel agencies. And for that, we have an expert with us, Mr. Animesh Kumar. He has been in the online travel space for a very long time and also a part of the founding team of Yatra.com. Currently, he's working with Oberoi Hotels and Resorts. Welcome, Animesh.
Thank you, Divya. And hello, everyone.
Well, before we start, we have a few pointers for you. We have uploaded the deck of this presentation in your handout section. You can take it from there. You can also punch in the questions that you have throughout the presentation in the question panel of your GoToWebinar. We'll take them one by one towards the end of the webinar. As for now, I'll change the presenter to Animesh and he'll take you through the journey of online travel agencies in data-driven marketing. Animesh, over to you now.
Thank you. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yeah, Animesh, we're able to see your screen.
Great. Hello, everyone. Just a brief introduction about myself. My name is Animesh, and I am currently heading the digital marketing strategy for Oberoi Group of Hotel and Resorts. Professionally, I have spent close to about 10 years with a leading online travel portal in India. It's called Yatra.com. I was very fortunate to be part of the founding team about 10 years back in 2006. And now the company has grown multifolds, and in terms of the team, we are close to about 2,000 people. Over the last 10 years, I had the opportunity to learn various aspects of online travel agency. And what I'll try to do out here is today just share some of the insights based on my experience and the challenges which we faced as a company. So I will begin the presentation now. What we will try to cover here today are the following. We will quickly run through some stats which will be very insight, while most of you would also be familiar with these stats, but what it does, it sets the ground rules for how the landscape has been changing. What we will try to do is we will look at how you can identify your base. There are multiple ways today for a marketer to segment. I will share one of the segmentation ways where we effectively use to segment our consumer base. Then we will follow with the challenges for an OTA. Look to book, that's a favorite topic for any online marketer, and the challenge is always to increase look to book, get the number of bookings up. The second is again low customer retention. While internet gives the reach to a much larger level, but it at the same time it also allows the customer to reach out to competition within a click, which is otherwise not possible in a traditional market. The challenges of upselling and cross-selling, with the revenue going down by airlines, commission going down. The only commissions where the maximum money could be made is from insurance, from car rental, from hotels, and this constant struggle to kind of upsell and cross-sell. And then we will briefly talk about multi-channel engagement strategy, how the landscape has evolved in last decade or so. Earlier we had one-to-one communication channel, but today a guest has multiple touch points. There are mobile, there is email, there is SMS, there is web, and how do we ensure we are able to kind of talk the same language using each channel. So I'll move on to next slide now. So these are some of the numbers which I think very important as an online travel portal. Today, more and more consumers are researching online. So 95% of consumers are researching online. Online is become the first touch point whenever a consumer is planning to buy a travel service. More importantly, now the search is shifting towards mobile, and this shift has changed drastically in the last 3 years. About 4 or 5 years back, we used to get about 5% of total traffic on mobile, and about 6 months back, when I moved last of Yatra, about close to 50%. And not only for Yatra, the whole online travel space was having more traffic from the mobile. 19% consumer prefer travel insurance, 66% consumers trust online reviews, and that's how the role of TripAdvisor has become very important over a period of time. 36% consumer make an unplanned trip if offered a discount. 25% consumer make a purchase after receiving a promotional discount over email. This number stands at 15% when it's sent across an SMS. And social media is playing a more and more important role in planning and discovery mode for consumers, especially for holidays and weekend getaways. As I spoke earlier, there are multiple ways of classifying user for online travel agencies. I will briefly talk about one of the effective ways we could look at segmenting the customer. And based on the segmentation, a different marketing communication plan could be worked out to reach out to right set of customer to ensure a maximum repeat purchase and share of wallet is retained. The model I'm going to talk about is basically an RFM model. Most of you have heard it. Talks about recency, frequency, and monetary. Recency in terms of how recently was the last transaction. Frequency is how often does a customer buys a travel service. Is it once a month or twice a month or once a year? And monetary in terms of what is the cart size value are we able to get out of the customer. Post that, we also look at how do we, another way we can look at segmentation is user profile in terms of their behavior, in terms of the data point, in terms of device they use, in terms of browser they use. And thirdly, we can also look at segmenting user, and this is especially very useful for not logged in user, where we are able to track the behavior in terms of action, in terms of clicks, in terms of any behavior which is shown on the website, and based on that, a marketing or communication plan is worked out. This slide broadly explains an RFM modeling. If we look at bottom, we are talking about customers who have low frequency and low monetary value. They could be a customer who is buying a bus ticket maybe once a while. And better than this, then we can go to the next, which we talk about high frequency and low monetary value. It could be someone who buys bus tickets maybe twice a month, or maybe a train ticket twice a month. Then comes the low frequency and high monetary value. These are good customer because they just could buy one transaction or maybe two transaction a year, but the cart size it's really high. These would be typical the holiday package buyers, where the cart size is substantially higher, their annual holiday, where they spend a lot of money. And an ideal scenario is high frequency and high monetary value. That's where you ensure that you are able to get the maximum share of wallet from the guest. As a marketer, the idea is to move people upward, where at bottom you get the least profitable, and as you move upward, they become more profitable for you. So all the marketing strategy is put across identifying the segment and then communicating different plans to move up the chain. Yep. Move on to next slide. The next slide talks about another way where we look at segmentation, and just to keep this account, this segmentation could not, we're not talking about in silos, they could be overlapping, and we can look at an RFM model, and then we can look at user profile, and then we can look at behavioral. So they would be combination of all three. So broadly, RFM is based on a lot of transaction data. User profile is based on which geography does he come from, what's the device he accesses, what is the acquisition source, these kind of data which is kind of captured about the guest.
Animesh, if you don't mind me
Yes.
asking, I had this question. Why is it important for us to classify users into anonymous and contacts? I mean, anonymous are definitely people who have not logged in. So why is it necessary for us to?
Sure. It's a very good question. Divya, one of the key stats is online booking is users do not log in till they reach the payment page or the page where they are asked the email ID. They are in research mode, and they do not log in at the first page. So if you are able to kind of get a certain set of data about the unknown user, and you are able to kind of identify based on the cookie over a period of time, it helps to market and reach out to the customer much better.
Okay, cool.
Sure. Event and action driven. What we're talking about here is basically we track all the event done by the user on the website, where they have gone on to a particular page, have clicked a particular button, have spent an X amount of time, have bounced off on a certain page. Are they? So you're trying to come to a certain segmentation on what could be the possible services the consumer is looking out for, and it helps you to kind of reach out to customer at that particular point, and kind of make the communication one-to-one. Say for example, if a user is going onto web page and clicking on to in terms of details of an offer and looking for a promo code, then definitely you kind of able to identify that this is the set of customer who is more detailed and was looking forward for offers. And in case he or she comes back the next time, what you can do is you can customize your communication to kind of meet the requirement, and which might help in a better conversion. What I'll talk briefly is the top challenges which is faced by online travel portals. We had briefly looked at this point in the beginning of the slide. Look to book ratio, upselling, cross-selling, driving customer loyalty, advocacy, implementation of multi-channel engagement strategy. Look to book ratio. Basically, in other words, look to book ratio. It's another word for conversion on the website. If 100 people come on the site, and if 5 people end up dropping a lead or buying a product, the conversion is 5. There's a constant endeavor of the product manager and the marketing manager to increase look to book ratio and the conversion. And most of these data, most of these decisions are based on data driven. But when you look broadly at what could be the main reasons for low book to look ratio, the survey says that 29% has more research to do. They're still in shopping mode. 19% say wanted price comparison. That's where meta comes into play, meta searches. 7% wanted to read reviews, would go to review sites, read review about the product. 10% felt booking process was tedious. I think over a period of product manager have been playing a very important role to reduce the reduce the length of booking process from 6 to 5 to 4, and eventually that's the idea. There's a constant improvement going on that place. 6% experience technical issue. It's technology based, internet based. So there would be chances where people do not have a great technical, they do not have a great user experience, and they face some technology issue. And 29% had issued with the relevancy of offers. And my experience says that over a period of time, that has become a very important factor for people when they go online. They want the online travel portal to kind of understand their needs and show them relevant offers and details, rather than the guest has to go all over the place, look for right set of information. So these are the top reasons which leads to low look to book ratio. Um, this is how a typical sales funnel would look like. Uh, the customer or the guest comes, makes a search. That's where majority of people would come and see the search result page where the price is listed, the description is listed, and that's the page where the maximum drop off happens. The next page is confirm a selection. Out of multiple options, they select a flight, hotel. Post that, they fill in the details of email ID, whatever other details in terms of address required. Then comes the payment mode, where they have to choose whether it's a pay at hotel with credit card, debit card, net banking. And then comes the confirmation page. So if you see, there are basically 5 main steps. A lot of time, a lot of OTA try to merge couple of steps onto a single page, trying it, making it easier for consumer and reducing the drop off. But fundamentally, these are the 5 steps where the consumer journey begins and ends for an ideal transaction. And one of the key ways is to read this funnel very effectively and understand different segment, and then communicate to set of people accordingly. So one of the ways where you could look for a discount seeker is someone who comes and then looks at the price and then just leaves away, and then maybe the price and the time spent on the page is not enough. He's not engaged with the page enough. So definitely price would be the top point where the person is looking for a discount, or the rate is it's not right for him to purchase. So this funnel and looking at the numbers of numbers at the funnel really helps you to identify a segment. And what can be done today with a lot of technology and coming into place, one could use and engage with such customer very effectively. This is a flow chart of how a customer could be incentivized. In one case, you know the contact number or the email ID of the customer. In second case, you do not know it. So based on an event, there would be option of multi-level, multi-channel communication. At a certain level, you could send an email out here, and it's all yes, no, and you can decide the flow chart. If the customer does not react, you can put across the next level of communication, which could be in terms of SMS, could be in terms of notification, and in terms of unknown customer, where the email ID is not known. What is more relevant out here is you have to wait for customer most probably either to come back on your site and be a relevant information, or you can very effectively use remarketing when customer is going out to a different website. Your communication could be more customized, and your offer could be more customized to bring back the customer to your website and ends up a transaction. This has been quite fruitful, and in fact, we have seen that if you are able to put across a flow chart, identify a segment, and put across a different communication at different point, your look to book ratio can go up as high at 15%. But the key is identifying the right segment and choosing the right channel. There is no success formula. It's you have to try multiple times and look at the data, go back to the drawing board, make changes again till you get it right. I'll move to the next slide. So another one, it's segment we look could be identified is the information seeker. So these are the guests where they kind of look for more information, detailed information about the product, and they feel that there needs to be more information before they are able to make a right choice. There are different ways again for such customer to move and engage them. If you are able to reach out on the email, so you could send them a relevant information in terms of post. If you're not able to wait for user to return, and on events through the search option, or you could target them to remarketing. So these are just a couple of use cases where it just gives you a sense. Look, you have to identify, look at the funnel, look at the segment of the people, and then define a flow chart to reach out to them, and keep trying till you're able to get the right mix.
Animesh, don't mind me asking, but how far do you think this personalization of content is possible?
So today's technology, I think a great level of personalization is possible. If you look at user on the website, there could be two set of users, and it's been put across. A user, you definitely have logged in, and then you know about his past transaction. You are able to stitch the data, right? And then it's all about slicing and dicing, and how effectively you are able to slice and dice, and then putting across a flow chart in terms of how do you want to reach out to customer at what point, to a great level. So if I log into a TripAdvisor today, and I was just making a search yesterday for a weekend getaway, now on my each time I go back, it says, dear Animesh, this is the #1 hotel in this place, and so many person have visited. And similarly, if I go to Facebook today, they have pushed across an ad out there, say, dear Animesh, this is what it is at this place. So it's just kind of very personalized today, and TripAdvisor is just not throwing me anything. It's just throwing me an options about what I was looking for, when I was looking for, and it's addressing me by an email. So that's where it's possible. It's logged in. When it's not possible, it's logged in. You still can get all the information in terms of what the person was searching, what was his behavior, and that data can be used to show the relevant information. To answer your question, yes, with right product, I think that's quite possible today.
Okay, answers my query. Let's move on.
Thank you. So I think this is something which all of us would agree. We just need to crack it right in terms of sending the right information to right set of people, a right email communication, personalized email communication. My learning had been when I moved into marketing in my previous role. There was a challenge, and a generic mailer was sent across. The open rates were very poor. Then we started segmenting and making a lot of small segmentation, and then we start sending personalized message, and we saw a huge jump in terms of open rate, repeat purchase. So I think personalization is definitely the way forward. Customer retention, we talk about it. So this is another challenge of low customer retention in online travel portal. One of the key reasons is user experience and design. I'll break this up into two parts. The user experience is post booking. What is the kind of experience till the guest comes back? And in design, it would be more on the usability, writing the right information on the site. Indifferent to an OTA. A lot of guests today believe that OTAs provide just the rates, and if I buy it from site A, site B, how does it make a difference? Because they do not control the service at the, say for example, in an airline, or for example in a hotel. And then of course price sensitivity is another very key reason where low retention is, it's one of the reasons for low retention. So we're going to talk about briefly about user experience, and how we can use marketing channels to improve that. How it's very important to identify happy, indifferent, and sad users. So at the end of the day, we would want more happy customers going and talking about our brand, and less of sad users. But it's very important to reach out to them at the right time, to ensure that so the happy users become your brand ambassadors, and sad users really don't kind of spread too much negative word around you. So we NPS score, Net Promoter Score, which has been very effectively used by a lot of organizations, service organization, tells you on a scale of 1 to 10 how and where do you stand. This flow chart explains an example of how marketing communication channel can be effectively used. Briefly, I'll run through the flow chart. Event is the journey has been completed by a guest, the 2 days wait is there, and then is the customer is reachable on an app, a notification is sent, and if the NPS score is 0 to 4, then send an apology through a text, and then push for a call center right away. So all of this could be done, it could be programmed, and it could be just automated. There is no manual intervention required where somebody takes out NPS, looks for the score, sends it to the send it to the team to reach out to detractors. There's a lot of time loss today in the world of technology. If you are not able to reach out to your customer in few hours or few minutes, it's all over the social media, and it just gets you a lot of negative word. So I think using the marketing channel very effectively, multiple level marketing channel could reduce the pain of OTAs in this regard. So these are some numbers how effectively if you run this, 24% of detractors are saved from churn, and 54% users make a second purchase. We'll briefly talk about how we can identify your cash cows and high monetary value users. Like in any other business, the rule of 80-20 applies. Maybe 70-30, 30% of your customer are responsible for your 70% of revenue, and it's very important to identify them based on a monetary value. And then what you are required to use these technology tools to reach out to them and enhance their experience, so you are able to get a higher share of wallet, and the impact on this set of customer, the delta or return on investment is much higher. This again is a flow chart which explains basically how you can enhance the user experience. So the flow chart, while you can go in detail, briefly talk about various touch points during the customer journey and overall communication channel, whether it's SMS, email, notification, phone calls to reach out to customer and enhance their experience at various touch points. That's what this flowchart briefly talks about. And we have seen that if you get the flowchart right, you further enhance the experience, and these are highly valuable customer. The cart size is much higher, and the delta return on investment is much higher in such cases. Upselling and cross-selling. This is very important for an online travel portal from a revenue point of view. Over a period of time, the airline commissions have diminished, and the volume of turnover of an OTA definitely comes from an air product, and over a period of time they have been trying to kind of move to a non-air product, which is basically the hotels, holidays, insurance, car rental, where relatively the margins are much higher. Having said that, airline product helps as one of the uh, 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 relatively lesser source of the price of acquiring a customer is much cheaper. So the strategy, a lot of online portals try to use flights as acquiring a customer, which could be a little higher, but trying to cross-sell and upsell other products over a lifetime cycle of a customer, you are able to kind of get the return on the investment made to get that customer. So these are some of the stats where people are looking for upgrades, considering upgrades. So airlines, hotels, lodging, there is a level of interest at each product. In certain cases, the interest is higher. In certain cases, lower. Definitely, I think airlines, the cost is relatively high to upgrade as compared to something like a car rental. Hotels, it somewhere lies in middle, but there is an opportunity to segment and identify the customer whom to upsell and cross sell. So one of the ways which there are multiple ways of segmenting for upsell and cross-sell. This is one of the ways which could be used effectively, where you are looking at three levels where we are trying to say. One is user experience. This set of customer is definitely they are looking for a excellent best of experience, and there's a huge opportunity to cross-sell and upsell. The second piece we can look at is the user experience and requirement. They have high frequency and relatively high monetary value. And third is based on requirement, which is low frequency and low monetary value. So example, in the first one, driven experience driven user who have high frequency, high monetary value, someone like a business class traveler, you need to identify. And this next slide, which I'll just come up, shows a flow chart. How effectively can you use the cross-sell option? Once the ticket is booked, you can show an upgrade option for the seat in class. On click, wait for the event, checkout is completed. Again, on the event, the past purchase, hotels and services are there. So during the identifying the life cycle of the journey of the customer's travel, and then identifying the key touch points where you would like to cross-sell and upsell. But this set of customer, the chances and the relevance in terms of upsell and cross-sell is much higher. Something which you can do even at the hotel when they are checking in, you can actually look at option of send a push notification with spa, games, events, or even for taxi.
Animesh, there's this question by Alex which makes more sense to be talking about right now. He's asking, do you think hotel plus airline is the only profitable cross-sell option, or is it declining with time?
So it's a very good question. In terms of numbers, if you look at hotel plus airline as a package, in terms of revenue, I think it is a profitable option for sure. It's actually a win-win situation for everyone. Let's look at the OTA. The OTA makes more money. That's number one. Let's look at airlines and let's look at hotels. Both of them come across and give you a opaque rate which they don't want to sell it openly in the market. They have an occupancy, or they have of 70%, 80%, and theirs is a perishable inventory. Their hotels are not full. Similarly, airlines are not full, but at the same time, they are not going to put across a cheaper fare in the public domain because it leads to cannibalization and lower yield management. So yes, if effectively sold to right set of customer at the right time, this works out to be a very effective model where in terms of revenue, it could be a good option.
Okay, I guess Alex has his question answered. Let's move on to the next slide.
Sure. So the next way is requirement-driven users who will only buy, but if your offer meets their requirement. An example out there has been given: if someone books an international journey, show the web message for insurance. Wait for 2 days. It may not buy it, but wait for 2 days on return on event, reach on them on app, and send a notification on discounted baggage allowance. So it's a need base. You just need to identify what could be possible need of that customer. So in this case, the assumption is on the return, they could be shopping and they would require an extra baggage, and there's an opportunity. So identifying such need and reaching out to them at the right moment. So if you had told them when after buying the ticket, saying that, hey, listen, you want a baggage extra on return, and the chances they would not have bought it. But if you reach out to them maybe 2 days prior to return, there are high chances, sorry for that, high chances that they might just buy this product. So it's about just identifying the needs and then reaching out to them at the right point of time. So cross-sell as a subject is solving the need of the user, result in 10% increase in the cart value. And it's a very important revenue model or way to increase the revenue for any OTA. We'll briefly talk about implementation of multi-channel engagement strategy now. So this slide broadly gives across how the marketing spend is broken down by channel. On the top pie chart gives a sense of how the traditional or offline marketing channels are, and bottom gives the online marketing channels. The traditional marketing channels are outdoor, TV, radio, print, and traditional. We look at search engine, affiliate, meta search. What has happened over a period of time, the marketing mix for a lot of online travel actually has moved more towards online and reduced the dependency on the offline piece, because more and more users are online today. You're trying to reach out in terms of display, in terms of meta searches, and over a period of time there's been a realization that there is a lot of spillage and waste in terms of the traditional channel. While it has its own benefits, but the more performance based marketing channel has been gaining momentum lately.
Animesh, how far do you think is social media an effective channel in like promotions and bringing more users to the website?
So social media has started playing very important role in an OTA's business need. It's definitely not in terms of driving sales directly. That's what it should not be looked at. It should not be looked at the lens of I will put across an offer and people will come on my site and transact. What effectively needs to be done is we have to look at engagement as the key matrix for using social media, and how you're able to connect with your customer over a period of time. And this more works on the brand affinity, and as and when the need arises, then what will happen, you should be there in the top of mind or consideration set. That's something which social media have to kind of play an important role. Apart from doing tactical and offers and deals from time to time, I think that strategy needs to be chalked out and worked out effectively, be it blogs, be it the content, be it engaging, be it talking about different events. I think that's an area where it has to be very effectively looked at.
Okay, I get that.
This is biggest problem with the multi-channel, and a lot of has evolved in last 3-4 years with mobile coming into place. I think mobile has been started playing a very important role, and a user today has a 2 to 3 device, be it desktop, be it mobile, and also a tablet. Over a period of time, the tablet market has been declining and the mobile has been up on rise. But one of the challenges faced across when initial days with mobile is a user used to search something on mobile and then go on to desktop, and then realize that there is no connection between the search made on mobile and desktop. There was no stitching done. And similarly, in terms of communication, the emailer which was sent was talking a different language. The notification sent was different language. I think what happened over a period of time, the new channel emerged as a marketing team did not know where which all channel was being controlled by whom. So in mobile was in a typical organization initially was part of the mobile product team, which was developing mobile would have a strong control on notification and in terms of sending messages. But over a period of time, it's very important that a consolidated one single view of the customer has to be maintained, and then looking at what all communication has gone at which level, and then identifying that they are all talking the same language. I think that's the key going forward. With so much of communication thrown at user today, if the communication is not relevant and it's not personalized, it will be just a blind spot. That's what I think multi-channel problem is. This slide explains it well. You can't personalize your social media handles for every person. You put it on a Twitter handle, everyone sees the same. But when you are trying to reach somebody comes to you on the website, you can say, hey, welcome back. Last time you searched a flight from San Francisco to London and there is a special sale on British Airways. Would you like to go for it right now? Or in-app saying that, hey, you were looking for some holidays in Thailand, and here is some beautiful content about where you can explore about Thailand. And so I think customization is the key, and going forward will play a very important role in a overall marketing experience and increasing the customer retention and improving the look to book ratio over a period of time. So this flowchart sums it up, saying that if you have thought it well in terms of identifying where to reach out to customer and what to communicate, and based on the flowchart, yes, no, you kind of decide your next course of action. This is just a sample one, but what one needs to do it, look at the data, look at the impact, and keep changing the communication. The key is you will not get it right in the first go. And definitely, if you get it right, I think it's a huge scope in terms of increasing the conversion. That can go as high as 30%. So that's about it. Thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, I think Divya will help to kind of consolidate and share that with me.
Yeah, I can see a lot of questions here. Before that, I'd say it was really an insightful session for us. And I came to know so many things about OTAs that initially I wasn't even aware of. But
Sure.
before that, we'll just take all the questions from our users. So Rena has asked us, don't you think it is difficult to have buyer personas for users as people purchase only once or twice a year, unlike e-commerce where purchases are very frequent?
I think it's a very good question. Uh, so from stats speaking, 50% of the conversion is one time. Having said that, if you're not able to convert that 50% of the when it coming to your side, you're losing out to an opportunity. So just give me a minute, please. So a lot of users come and they have a purchase at one time, but at the same time, they do a lot of research on multiple sites. And the choice is made when I see that, hey, listen, this guy's know me and he's popping up the right offer, right content to me. So the chances of conversion is very high out there. So while your business is going to come from your 20%, 30%, which will continue, giving 70% of your revenue, but at the same time, you will have to tap into the one-timers also. You just cannot ignore them.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have Michael asking us, what is the best time to cross sell? Once a person is booking or later on once he has booked and the need arises? I guess he's referring to the need based ones.
Again, very good question, I must say. We have a lot of debates of saying that let's the user complete the original booking service. So if he was trying to book a flight, let him complete a flight, and then post the booking a flight, then you can put that across as a cross-sell option. My learning has been a little different on that front. if you are able to give a value add to the consumer during the booking flow process. So for example, if the room is for $100 and the hotel is for $50 standalone, but if you say, hey, listen, if you buy this together, it's gonna cost you say $130 because you have a opaque rate from both of them. In that case, during the booking flow process, it does work very well. Having said that, the cross sell has to be just a tick option. Maybe it cannot be a very long deviation from booking process, or else the conversion will go for a toss. So it's identifying what kind of product it is, and based on that, choosing at which point do you need to kind of put that across. So there are certain products which works very well uh, before the original product was bought, and few, of course, after the product is bought, then you can go out. Hey, listen, you kind of book this across, and did you know you need an insurance? Then here's an insurance option which is there. And also, one of the learnings which I had over a period of time, if someone is going for a holiday, a lot of local tours and other itineraries are booked only maybe a week or 2 week or 3 weeks prior to the journey date. So that's another thing. You have to identify your sweet spot and kind of use different products to sell at different points.
I hope, Michael, that answers your question. Raina has sent us two smileys saying thank you, Animesh. And we have another question from Abhinav who says, how do you cross sell to requirement based people?
The requirement based people are the one where you have to give some standard products. Like, I give you an example, insurance is a one where it is required for a visa purpose, it's required for a medical purpose, and then where you kind of put that communication up front and say, hey, listen, you're traveling to this place, but did you know there is insurance required for buying for obtaining a visa? Or you can put across saying, hey, did you know that the medical expenses in such countries are expensive, and then this is a requirement. So the idea is to kind of share why is it required to the guests and users well in time, so they are aware about it, and then they feel the need of it, that, oh, well, this is required, I need to buy it, so let's buy it at this place. That's about.
Okay, then this sums it up for us. Animesh, it was great to have you on board with us. We had a great time. This was a really enjoyable session, not a single dull moment, and we could like just grasp on more and more on the knowledge of OTAs. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, everyone, and Divya, for getting me this platform to kind of share my experience. It's been a great experience, and I look forward to such session in the future. Yeah, thank you very much.
Welcome, Animesh, and so do we. So keep on hooked up to WebEngage webinars. Sign up with Monk so that you do not miss any sign of engagement from us. We'll be sending you newsletters and webinar invites as soon as we hook on to the next webinar. Have a great day ahead. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Animesh, once again.
Thank you. Bye bye.